What is good, everyone? It is your boy Jay Diggy back again with another podcast video. Today we will be discussing the show that we started seeing a while ago. We saw it finally. First season anyways, because I'm pretty sure there's gonna be more show. Jujutsu Kaisen. And with me today I have Parzival here. Discuss this.
Hi guys, thanks for having me again, J Diddy.
Thank you. Pleasure's all mine. So, would you like to start off with the summary?
Yes. So, I think the best way to start describing this show is that it's a combination, or like it's like a combination. It's like a mix of Naruto meets Demon Slayer with a little bit of My Hero Academia. And what I mean by that is you have these high school kids who are trained to hunt down and defeat demons, and they're taught to harness their magic, which they call cursed energy. That's what their power system is based off of. And so our main character is a boy named Yuji Itadori, and the setup goes that Yuji's sort of this aimless kid. He doesn't know where he fits in the world when he starts out. He at his regular high school, he was part of the occult club. He's always been interested in the supernatural and things like that. But in the first episode, unfortunately, his grandfather passes away, and before he does so, the last impactful thing he says to him is, Yuji, even if your actions can only help one person, you have an obligation to do that one. You have an obligation to do that one thing, and so he inspires him to be a good person. Essentially, I guess it's the show's own way of saying, with great power comes great responsibility. Like the whole Spider-Man. At this point, that can't get copyrighted. That saying is as old as time now. But yeah. And then following that, what happens is there's an attack at his high school, and in defending his friends, he is forced to the thing that grants him the use of this cursed energy, and is in the ensuing fight what happens is he's forced to eat one finger of this high level of the strongest demon of them all, and his name is Sukuna. And so he's divided into, his power is split into 20 fingers, and the more fingers Yuji eats, he sort of becomes a host for Sukuna, and Sukuna sort of feeds off of it. But the cool thing is that Yuji is strong enough to keep Sukuna in check. So Yuji's still in control of his body, but he can harness the power of Sukuna and call upon it whenever he needs to. And so they have an interesting dynamic that we'll get to later. But once within the fight, he meets this dude named Megumi and his teacher Gojo, and after the fight resolves, and they see potential in Yuji. Actually, potential, and they sort of also want to use him, because the only way they can get rid of Sukuna once and for all is they'll use that use Yuji as a vessel, and what they'll essentially do is have him eat all the fingers of Sukuna, and then execute him. So that way they deal with Sukuna, who's always been a pain, or like who's always been like this insurmountable foe, and they'll finally have an out to him. But moving on, they get taken to Jujutsu High. They enroll Yuji in Jujutsu High School, and
It's called
that's
Jujutsu
where
Tech.
Jujutsu Tech. Yeah. Yes. Sorry about that, but
That's fine.
And that's where the show sort of, that's the jumping on point for the show, and that's basically the setup. And from there we go into different sorts of arcs. There's like a training arc, tournament arc. There is this one very sad, emotional arc with this one boy named Junpei, and then there's antagonists. There's an antagonistic group of demons. Well, not led. We haven't gotten so much out of the leader yet, who we don't know much about. But his subordinate Mahito is he's very villainous and cruel, and he's just a real bad dude.
Yeah, we'll get to
it. He's just a real bad dude. But I think from there we can move on to, I think an easy way to handle this is to move. How would you like to move through this? Do you want to go through
the characters? Yeah, because if we go to the characters, we can go the story. So I think you should give Yuji, because you already started him off.
Okay, so to continue with Yuji is he's a very likable protagonist. He's very carefree, and he has a good sense. He has a good sense of justice. The thing with Yuji is about midway, or like early on in the show, he quote unquote dies, like officially, because he becomes the target for the higher ups within the high school, who consider him a threat because he's the host of Sukuna. And so because of that, they want him executed immediately. But because Gojo vouches for him and protects him, he's able to sidestep them for as much as he could. But for a while he goes MIA. I mean, not he goes MIA from his friends, and he goes off on his own little training arc. And Gojo trains him. One way I think is really cool that Gojo trains him is that he has to learn how to focus chaos energy by staying awake when he watches movies, which I think is really cool. That was cool to see. But yeah, and then the more fingers I mentioned. I guess you can't really talk about Yuji without talking about Sukuna. And man, oh man,
yo, go ahead.
No, you can take over from here. Talk about Sukuna.
Sukuna is mad cool, dude. He is mad cool. Like, again, we don't know much about him from a character standpoint yet, but from everything we've seen, he is so cool. Because just from what we're seeing, I think all he just wants to do is just be free. Do whatever the hell he wants to do. Project structuring, whatnot. But I don't know if they're gonna treat him like the Nine-Tailed Fox in Naruto. I know you haven't gotten that far, but long story short, Naruto, and the fox's name is Kurama. But the point is, I don't know if they're gonna take it that route or if they're gonna do something different. Because here's the thing with Sukuna. I think with Sukuna, he's a cool dude and he's evil to Yuji when he wants to. Like when he wants to. We'll get to that scene when we discuss Mahito. That's the one in particular. I want to. But overall, his character is cool. And one of the coolest things I really like was that, like, so the way Sukuna's powers work is that every time Yuji eats another finger, Sukuna grows stronger. And because he has like 4 arms, it's 20 fingers. And I can't even imagine how powerful Sukuna would be with all 20. Because with just like only like 1 or 2 or 3, he'd be wrecking people. Like he'd literally be wrecking people like nobody's business. And like one of the crazy things that there's one of the demon guys, where like he at that current point he was supposed to be worth like 7 or 8 like Sukuna fingers or something like that. And even though Mahito faced them and that version was weaker, he was like saying it wasn't even the strength of the power. It was just that presence. That presence alone. The authority of a king. Like you can't do anything about it. That's what I thought was really cool. Like straight up, that's what I thought was really cool. As for Yuji, just to I got into Yuji. I also like the fact that like throughout season 1, he kind of like there are like times so as Parzival mentioned where he doesn't know what he wants to do in life, and right now his main goal is just to help people because that's what his grandfather said. But I also like the fact that there's like times where he kind of stumbles a bit and like has like a sidestep new goal where like he wants to become strong enough so he can help people. So for example, in the whole Mahito arc with like people died, because we'll get to that whole situation later, but people died and Yuji was involved in killing them, technically was involved in killing them, and that kind of changed his mindset a bit. I thought was really cool. But yes, that's all I gotta say about Yuji and so want to add anything?
No, I think you covered it all. So should we move on to the next character?
Yes, I think next one we should probably discuss Megumi.
Okay.
Actually, maybe we should discuss Maki.
I mean, Mahito, I feel what we could discuss about him is how vile he is, and how you really get to see that when this whole arc that you follow this boy named who he's trying to corrupt and sort of succeeds. His name is Junpei, and he's just this downtrodden high schooler.
Like Yagami 3.0, bro.
And he's bullied and victimized. He's bullied and brutalized. People abuse him in school, and rightfully so. He hates them, and so Mahito exploits that, and he basically shows him the way of like demons, and teaches him how to exact revenge against these people, and in doing so, he convinces him that Yuji and them are the bad guys, but deep down, Junpei's he's just a confused kid, and Yuji Yuji and Junpei sort of share this really sweet moment where they just bond over like movies and stuff, and they just get to be kids, and they're not. And Junpei sort of realizes that he like, for someone who's never had many friends, like there are people who would want to like be his friend, and it's so sad what Mahito does to him at the end of his whole story, where he gets turned into a demon, and then remind me, he kills him, or
No, he died. Technically, he kills him, but he dies because they can only hold that form like a while before he dies.
I mean, so he's inadvertently responsible for killing him, but his death is just very sad. And that just shows how
Mahito.
Yeah, how Mahito is just insane. Like he's just he has no limit. He has no limit.
I think also the reason why he's also evil is because he himself, because I think the way they said it was that he was like born to this world recently, right? Like it wasn't like he was in the world for a long time. He was. Is that right or was that wrong?
I can't remember.
Let's show in the comics. But the thing with this guy is that like I think the way he's going around, he made his own opinions and like opinions on how humans are. Like in this case, he goes like the humans are the souls, and he manipulates the souls and stuff like that. And the way he just learning how he experiences. Oh wow, I'm yawning like crazy. The way he experiences on how he manipulates and how he learns on how these humans interact, that he comes up with this sick reasoning behind it, along with trying to improve his power as well. That's what I think really makes it, because it's sick. It's not good. It's bad, like really bad. And the scene where Yuji wants help, and then Sukuna was like, "Nope, why I gotta help you?" And then they had this scene with both Sukuna and Mahito laughing evilly while Yuji can't do anything. Dude, that was the moment where the series became like a character automatically. Like it became not even like maybe like an 8.2. That scene though was so good. It literally showed these guys like okay. Yes, that's all I gotta say about Mahito. What you?
Yep, I think we can move on to the next one.
Alright, now let's talk about Megumi. So, am I taking this one or you?
You can start it off. I'll add something if I have to.
Okay, so Megumi is pretty good character. I think, because here's the thing, he's like, he's one of those stoic comedic guys, I would say, and in terms of his character, they kind of showed how like he wants to get stronger, and he's kind of being looked down. He kind of like thinks that he's weaker than Yuji, but in reality, both Sukuna and Gojo says that in terms of potential, he's on the same tier. Gojo says he's on the same tier as Yuji, and Sukuna is highly interested in Megumi. Highly interested. But really what made his character for me, I think, besides, you know, he's like a cool dude, was I think the last arc actually, like shit that happened in the school and with his sisters and stuff like that. And like how I think one of the crazy things, like he was always a team player. I think Gojo was saying like he was like a team player, and then like he was saying like sometimes you have to let loose, and we saw him let loose, and he used like an incomplete domain expansion. Oh, that was crazy. But yeah, I think that's all I gotta say about Megumi. Guys, yeah.
I just want to add that one part of his backstory stuck out to me, where he was gonna get sold to one of the 3 major clans, and Gojo rescued him, and instead of
I forgot about that.
He's like, "Come to the school with me, and I'll train you." And I just thought that was a really cool piece of his backstory.
Yeah, I mean, again, right now, like Megumi, because I feel like in terms of character, like he is fleshed out, but there isn't much to say on him. And the only thing we got was that, like the end of last arc, actually. Alright, but again, is that everything we got to say about Megumi?
Yes. I'm going to move on to Nobata now.
Yeah.
Oh, Nobara.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I am so happy that Nobara is like a strong representation of a female character in a shonuen anime. She is not a damsel in distress. She is not a she's not
Sakura or Oihime.
Okay.
Alright, thank the goddamn Lord, alright?
Okay, I want
the Lord. Please, I'm sorry. I can't.
No, continue. I wanted you to be the one to say it, because I haven't gotten far enough in those shows Just be
Sakura
qualified to
is
say that.
trash.
but-
Orihime is trash. Kairi is a damsel in distress. Oh my god, thank the goddamn Lord that Nobara is not damsel distress, especially in the last arc. But she really showed that shit. Oh, that was clean. There's like this look that she had in the anime. Oh my, that was clean. That was absolute.
And her powers are completely unique to her, where she has this whole I think I know people call it voodoo. I think the respectful way to it's called vodun, where it's like she crafts these realistic looking dolls of people, and then she can manipulate whatever she does to the dolls happens to the people. And she has using her power, she has some really cool bloody defining moments which are really cool and just make her an awesome character.
Oh my god, we forgot to discuss Megumi's ability.
All right, with the
With the Shikigami.
Shikigamis, right. Those are also very cool.
Yeah, so like literally his Shikigami is just like he can summon a couple of animals, like the bird, I think that was like a Nue, and then she had a dog, and then like I think there's also this very interesting thing too, when like I think I could be wrong, but when one of the Shikigami dies, I think that Shikigami's abilities is like passed down to the other Shikigamis until like he makes a new. So I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah.
One I do like when Nobara, she's fighting with that one girl from the other high school when they're trying to kill Yuji, and she just completely catches her off guard and she proves herself.
Yeah.
Do you remember when,
what was it, the blind chick? The blind chick?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
The
I'm trying to
witch.
remember.
It's like super teenage witch.
Yeah, that was really cool, and like you said in the last arc for sure, and it was really interesting to think that they might have actually killed humans rather than demons. So.
Yeah, that's true. That is very cool. Alright, is that everything on Nobara?
Yep, and we're free to move on to.
Who are you going to get?
My favorite character. I think it's time. I think it's time bringing the man.
You got it. Go ahead.
The strongest, most OP character I have seen in an anime in a while. Yeah. Gojo.
That's what you say while because I'm go nighttime.
But Gojo is amazing. Like I feel like within the action sequences, with anime, a lot of the budget goes into these small moments where like action sequences really need to pop out and stand out to the audience. And I feel like a lot of the budget goes to because Gojo doesn't do a lot of fighting, but when he does, when he has to get down to it, he is insane. And we mentioned this technique a little earlier, domain expansion.
Oh, we gotta talk about his main one, not domain. That's the next level.
Wait.
Yeah, his main one with Infinity.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, so his domain expansion Infinity is his whole technique just looks stunning, and when he did that, he elevated the level. That was one of the first eye-popping moments for me, where I was like, this show truly is something special. But beyond that, Gojo's personality, he's so charming and charismatic, and he's funny, and he's not tightly wound. he's like, because he knows he's the strongest. He takes he always takes a very comedic approach to things, and he's very confident in himself, and he's like, I got this. And it just makes him a very likable character. And honestly, uh um and there's this whole mystery element too. Even with his character design, his eyes, they're always covered, and that makes him very mysterious, and it just adds so much so many nuances to his character, I feel.
Oh my god. So let me just get in here. Let's first discuss about his ability Infinity. So you correct me if I'm wrong. So pretty much what it does, that there's like a little space between his body and like the air and whatnot. And when an opponent is trying to touch that, they can't touch that person. It's not just because it's a barrier. It's just that like the time, I think they're moving so slow that they can't touch the person. That what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like his main base ability, which is crazy. And when he fought this guy named Jugo, oh my lord, dude. Like all the explosion and the attacks in him because it was his infinity. Even like when there's like this scene where like when he was like demolishing Jugo and like his blood was popping. It was a small detail, but the blood wasn't touching Gojo. It was just touching the infinity part and just going away. Which is really cool. But dude, let me just list out some of the attacks, some of the things that he can do with it. Number 1, he can create voids. Powerful voids. Like there's this one where he goes like void red and then void blue. Combine them together to get purple. It's like, what the hell? And he just goes and like eviscerates things inside with that thing. And like, we don't know. But if each color of his void has a unique special property, that is insane. That is absolutely insane. Not to mention, to top it all off, he has insane speed and he has insane strength. It's crazy. It is absolutely nuts. And his domain expansion, where he opens up his blindfold, and then you see his blue sparkly eyes, and then like it literally just be like infinite domain. Oh my god. It literally looked like, I know you haven't seen JoJo, but there's a scene in like part 5 where what's his name? Shogo Giovanna, his stand ability, his final stand ability literally just creates some kind of crazy whatever. But it looked just like that. Similar to that. And it was insane. And feel, move, do nothing. Like once you're in that, you're done. It was insane. Oh, top it all off. He can fly. This man can fly. This man can float in the air. And he can teleport. God damn, dude. Gojo is crazy. Gojo is absolutely crazy. He is insane. Yes, that's all I gotta say on Gojo.
I mean, people in the comments, correct me if I'm wrong. I think Gojo won Best Boy at the Crunchyroll Anime Awards, and deservedly so, because he's amazing.
He's very good. Very good. Very good. I'll probably say best character of the show. Maybe not best, but favorite character of the show for sure. Best could be argued. I think best could be argued right now. So favorite character.
I agree.
Alright. Next up.
I feel, just because of time constraints, I feel like the next few we should bunch together, like you suggested earlier.
Okay.
So
I think we should do. Let's do the high school guys from the other team. So
yeah.
Alright, so let me just go real quick with this. So alright, so with Todo, my brother, my best friend. Yo, that shit was wild. Todo is a pretty cool dude. Like, he's powerful, and his ability to do the clap where he switches is so crazy. And like how he was like, how he just checks what is your type to like everyone, and Yuji had the same type as Todo, and then like they had this whole like slice of life scroll
bonding session.
Yeah, which was kind of hilarious. But my god, that was so good. Todo's pretty nice.
Jennifer Lawrence. I don't know how she got in there.
I don't go either. But like overall, he was pretty good. Like, I think that's really all to his character though, as of right now.
Right, but honestly, his anime, like his technique is where the budget also goes. A lot of the budget also goes towards his technique, because when he fires off his technique and him and Yuji, they're double teaming the demon at like when the double teaming the demon, it goes
the fluidity was crazy.
Yeah, and one of the coolest things is that he can essentially fake out when he's gonna do it and when he's not gonna do it. So it's not like every single clap he's gonna switch with someone. He can just clap and fake you out like it's a regular clap.
Yeah, that's true. That is so good. Alright, next one. Maki, I think, had a very interesting backstory with like how she can't see cursed spirits, and because she was in one of the 3 main families and they wanted her to see cursed spirits but they couldn't, and like because of that she was seen as a disgrace. I think they said that she was like one of those kids where they were offered some kind of curse, and her price to pay was that she can't see cursed spirits, but she has insane strength and mobility, and because of that she uses cursed weapons to just like go ham. And I think they also had it with like a lot of these higher ups of the main family. They're like no to her advancement, even though she definitely deserves it. But that's also really cool on her. Anything you want to add?
Yes, and so she leaves her family because they kind of almost sort of like disown. They want nothing to do with her, and so she goes off on her own path. But her twin sister Kasumi, resents her for it because she was then forced on to take the burden of honoring the family essentially, and she hates her for it. But Maki, even though she doesn't have this ability to use cursed energy, she compensates for it very well with her skill and her mastery with weaponry and all sorts of things. So she's a very cool character, and that's a very admirable character.
Alright, next up, Panda. So Panda is very interesting because it was one of those soul puppets that was created from the principal. That was very interesting. And with the Panda, where he has like a brother and a sister, one of those like a gorilla or something like that, that was very interesting. I don't know what to say on Panda though. Really, I want to specifically talk about the other guy. Forgot his name. But that guy, whatever his name was, his backstory, what happened with Maki, where he's some cursed ritual or something, and he gained enormous power, but because of that enormous power, his entire body is just like trash, and he can't move or anything like that, and he was suffering because of it. He couldn't move because every time it goes out in the sun, he's in pain and shit like that. So it's very crazy. And Panda and that guy bonded, and they putting a lot of attention to that episode, into that moment, which I didn't expect, but they put in the attention, which very, very nice. But yes, you want anything to say on that?
Yeah, they made me care about a character that I thought was just in there for like absurdity and laughs, and they it's weird to say, but they humanized him.
Yeah, they did. Alright, so what else?
I think there's the dude who speaks in ingredients so that
Yeah, but he's not really.
He's not that important
Yeah,
in terms. He's very
that guy, the guy that fought Megumi, the blood art guy that wanted to kill Yuji, but then later changed his mind because I think his whole thing was that because his mom left because she was like, what was it, like a third wife or like a seventh wife or something, and he wanted to become a very powerful sorcerer, so he can take control and do whatever he wants to do. I think I remember his mom was like a big portion of that, and then like because of that he was always follow orders, and then like later on I think he had a personal reason why he wanted to get. Forgot though. Do you remember?
I don't, but
I know in the end eventually he respects Yuji and. But anyways, that's all in him. And I think that covers everyone.
It does. I
mean,
I
the
think we-
blonde
I think
witch
we're
lady don't matter. Yeah. The sword lady, the girl that had the sword, who's a big fan of Gojo, doesn't matter. Yeah, we covered it.
Yeah.
All right, so conclusions. So, what's your thoughts?
Actually, I just want to give a shout out to the Yuji's mentor during his arc with Junpei, Kentaro.
Oh, I forgot about him. The office
Kentaro.
gang.
Yeah. I just want to give a shout out because his power was really cool. Where like he could slice, no matter what someone's power was, he could find like the critical points of where like their weaknesses. Like I think it's 1/6, like across a line, and if he like an invisible line, and if he slashes them across that line, he can deal some heavy damage to them. No matter like nullifying, not and withstanding everything, regardless of the ability he's up against.
Yeah. Also, I think with his character, this guy, his character is very interesting, but he hates a 9-to-5 job, but he also hates working as a sorcerer, so he hates both of it. And I think there's like this thing with like when he works overtime, like part of his but I'm trying to. I know there's like a big thing because he had a backstory. Damn. But I feel so bad because he was actually pretty important too. Do you remember?
I just remember there was this one scene. There was one cute scene at like a bakery or something.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember more than that though. I feel really bad.
I know.
But
I know he's important. I know. But yes. Forgot about that guy.
But special shout out to him.
Yes. Special shout out to him. Even though we forgot about him, we probably should have discussed him earlier. But anyways. Yeah.
Better late than never. Better late than never.
Yes. Conclusion. So what's your thoughts?
I think this show is fantastic. Highly recommend it. It's a great shonen anime with a great start, great characters, great animation, great setup, all of that jazz. I would have to say some of the characters aren't as fleshed out as they could be yet.
Yeah, by season 1.
Because season 1. So I can't see the whole thing when you have like when you take it when you grade a show season by season is like they can either improve on it or either like really mess up on it. So considering that, I can't give it like it's not like a 10 out of 10, but like I can definitely say it's a like an 8.75 out of 10 for me, because I just have like reservations about where the story could go, and that might retroactively hurt the first season, but tentatively it's an 8.75.
For me, this show is very good. Highly recommend it. I give it 8 out of 10 with the story, but this really becomes an 8.5 out of 10 because of Gojo. Let's be real. Let's be absolutely real. I feel like if Gojo wasn't in this, it would have probably dropped to an 8. To be perfectly honest with you. But yes. Alright, so there we go. That's my ratings. That's our ratings. So this is
let us know your thoughts in the comments below.
Yes. This is where I like to end this podcast here off now here. So before I end it off, any final words? Parzival?
No, once again, thank you as always for having me, and thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you, everyone, and be sure to give this video a like. I really appreciate it. Be sure to comment down below and what you guys think about Jujutsu Kaisen. Be sure to hit the bell icon notification. Be sure to subscribe to yours truly, and stay breezy, guys. Stay breezy.